All right, Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites. We come out here to prophesy the downfall of America, to let the Negro, Latinos, and Native American Indians know that we are the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, that the Bible speaks of the true people of the Most High. All right? And to let our people know who they are, the Negroes, the Latinos, the Native American Indians that come from the 12 sons of Israel, the 12 sons of Jacob. With Jacob, his name was changed to Israel, which means the son of the Most High, the son of the power. All right, a prince of power. So that's who we're out here to prophesy to bring salvation to, deliver. All right, and to prophesy, as I said, the downfall of America, known as in the Bible, Great Babylon, because it's a city of confusion. Now, everywhere you look, there's nothing but wickedness. Everywhere you look, there's nothing but wickedness, extortion, chaos. All right, calamities, atrocities, pestilence, everywhere, you name it. In Midland, it ain't gonna go out without no judgment. Midland, Odessa, heavily doing wickedness, destroying the earth. It's not gonna go without any judgment. All right. If you don't have spiritual eyes, it's already being faced with judgment. Okay. The waters is all messed up. The lands are all full of is desolate. That the plant trees because they don't grow here no more, man. Because of all the oil, the chemicals that they put in and they bring out. That defiles the earth. All right? But that's how we're out here to sound the trumpet. The true men of the Lord. All right? So the brother's going to jump out with Amos chapter 5 and verse 16.
This is Amos chapter 5 verse 16. Therefore Yahweh, the power of hosts, the Lord, saith thus.
Right? This is the Most High speaking. We speak out of the Bible. Okay? Precept upon precept, here a little, there a little, okay? Right. We ain't coming out of our own heart like these pastors in these churches, or a lot of you individuals, y'all got your self-righteousness. Y'all proclaim yourself as Christians, but you don't even read the Bible. You don't study to show yourself approved unto the Most High. So we're going to break it down to you. Go ahead.
Wailing shall be in all streets.
Wailing shall be in all streets. That's what's coming. What does wailing mean? Sorrow, pain, anguish, destruction. Go ahead.
And they shall say in all the highways.
And they shall say in the highways, right here in the streets of America, there's going to be martial law, purge. They're showing you in the movies. All these things are real. The Bible has prophesied about all these things thousands of years prior to men's invention of theaters and projecting a visual on the screen, a whiteboard. Go ahead.
Alas, alas.
Alas, alas means it's coming. Go ahead.
And they shall call the husbandman to mourning. And such are skillful of lamentation to wailing.
That's what we're doing. We're sounding the trumpet. We're crying aloud. Spare not. Lift up your voice like a trumpet in Isaiah chapter 58. All right? Now you notice that all these people were out here so a while ago and they all just spread out. Gone. Because they don't want to hear this truth. Right. People that in the old times, that's what the word church means. Yeah. Church, go back to the Greek, is similar to the Spanish or Latin word iglesia, which means to call out. So when something's being called out to you, your brain sensories will react for you to go towards that. What is that alarm? What is that trumpet? What is that sound? Y'all people, y'all people run from it. Go ahead.
And in all vineyards shall be wailing, for I will pass through thee, saith Yahweh.
The Most High, Yahawashi, who you ignorantly call God and Jesus, is going to pass through this place, man. Just like he passed through Egypt. When he sent them 10 plagues upon Pharaoh, Egypt, through his prophet Moses and Aaron. Why did he do that? To deliver his people. And Pharaoh didn't want to let his people go because he had hardened his heart. He was proud against the Most High. So Yahawashi is going to pass through you, pass through this city, pass through this country called America, whether it be north, south, talking all the way up to the Alaska, down to Canada, to the very tip of South America. The Most High is going to pass through this place, man. And he's passing through it. Hold that and get Isaiah chapter 29. Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 6. This thing is very real, man. You know? Most people, when they hear an alarm at their jobs and stuff like that, they react to it in a way where, yeah, they run from it, they run from the danger, but that alarm is set for them to know that there's danger brewing or about to come, or it's already been ignited. Instead, these people, when they hear a man come out here doing exactly what the Most High said to do, right, lifting up our voice like a trumpet, right, showing ourselves approved unto the Most High, they scatter, man. They get offended. They call the cops. You know, that's how we know this thing ain't for everybody. The spirit of Yahawashi ain't dealing with everybody like these people think they are, like the way they think he is. Because those that the Most High dealing with, they're gonna come right here. If they don't come right, if they come here, it's either for two things: to receive, or to be or to cast away, to disregard. All right, and if you disregard this truth, this alarm system, this whatever you want to call it, it's gonna be to your demise, to your destruction. Because the scriptures say, knowing the terror of the Most High, we persuade men. We ain't coming out here with soft voices. Now there's a time and place for everything. We got a lot of people out here right now. If I'm speaking low, they ain't gonna be able to hear me. Now I lift up my voice, it's gonna get their attention. You see? Go ahead.
Go on, Isaiah. It's Isaiah chapter 29, verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of Yahweh of hosts with thunder, and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire.
That's right, and that's what's going on throughout the whole earth, man, everywhere. In diverse places, as it is described in the book of Matthew chapter 24. The Most High is visiting this place right now, man. Everything's happening sporadically, all right, at a high rate, everywhere. You know, you got your hurricane season, right? You got your tornado season. Now you got that stuff going on throughout the whole year. It don't matter what the season is anymore, man. All right? That's prophecy. The word prophecy is to say before. All right? What's been written, what's going to come to pass, man. What a lot of people run from. They don't like to get into the prophecies of the Bible. They like getting into the things that encourage them or prosperity, but they cast away the hard things. But that's going to be to their destruction. Go ahead, read that one again.
Thou shalt be visited of Yahweh of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise.
It's not earthquakes happening everywhere in diverse places.
Storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire.
The flame of devouring fire, man. What was it, last year? I'm pretty sure it's still going on in California. There was nothing but flames going, or a fire.
Right.
You know, burning up the pastures, the trees. Then you had over there in Hawaii, you had that volcano that destroying everything, man. That lava, that fire, man. Which is a foreshadowing of that thermonuclear destruction that's coming, man, by way of missiles. Because a lot of you people think that America ain't going to be touched. All right, according to the Bible, Great Babylon is known as America. All right, and it will be touched, and it's going to be destroyed within an hour. Okay, now I got another scripture. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 34. Awake to righteousness and sin not, for some have not the knowledge of the Most High. I speak this to your shame. So what is that shame going to be towards death, man? Because you didn't know Yahawashi. And I'm speaking to the Negro, Latino, and Native American Indian man, where you confusing the face. That's a Hebrew Israelite. All right? Because it's your obligation to know your power, according to Ecclesiastes 12. What's the whole duty of men? Fear the Most High and obey His commandments. All right? It's not about being out here being a dumbass American, you know? That's what all these other nations look at Americans as idiots, man. Stupids. Like sottish children, the Bible describes you as, man. Brute beasts. All right? Slow bellies. Meaning you got a slow mind when it comes to this truth, man. You're retarded here in America, man. That's how all the other nations look at you as. Greed, full of greed, money. Which that money ain't worth nothing here in America, man. That's why you see Russia, all these other nations, they're doing away with the dollar bill, man. And they're doing their own trading amongst their own selves with their own currency. Because they know Babylon is going out. All right? So the Spirit is saying, I speak this to your shame. Because you don't know the knowledge of Yahawashi Yahawashi. Let me read one more. This is 2 Peter 3:16. As also in all his epistles speaking in these things, or of these things. So let me read that over again. 2 Peter 3:16. And also in all his epistles, speaking in them of these things, in which are some things hard to be understood. And it's hard for some people to understand that death and destruction is coming to this place called America. North America. The Western Hemisphere. A lot of people find that strange that death and destruction is actually going to come here. America. It came once before when he destroyed our people, the North American Indians, by the so-called white man. And yet he paid for that penalty. That's how we know he comes from his father Cain. Esau, a fugitive, a vagabond. Okay? These things are hard to be understood to some, man. Right. Because they think that death ain't ever going to come. You got youngsters that they'll say boldly out of their own mouth, no one can destroy me, no one can touch me. I'll never die. But when they start getting in their 30s, 40s, 50s, you start seeing that spirit go down. They're like, damn, man, I'm getting old. They're getting dropped when they get into fights. They ain't as quick as they were. You know? They start realizing that they're just but a man. You know? But because they watch these videos, these video games, they play these video games, they think they're some type of superhero. You know? That's why I love that movie Split and Unbreakable, and they're coming out with the new movie Glass. That's the third part of that whole series. And there was a beautiful part that Samuel L. Jackson said in it that these men that are written about in comic books were nothing but ordinary men. They had powers, but you got these guys that they're going outside that lane. They're being proud. They think they're unstoppable. Okay? But in that movie, that pertains to the elect. Because the elect of the nation of Israel, we're going to receive spiritual power. Like King David, like Samson, like Yahawashi. When he would be able to maneuver out of the way of people, a crowd of individual men that were trying to destroy him. He was able to conquer death. Even when he was faced with it, he still rose from the grave, man. That's spiritual power. And us having this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, that's power in itself. This is our defense. The Spirit, the Holy Spirit, man. All right? It says, which they that are unlearned and unstable rest. That word rest means wrestle with. Wrestle with. As they do also the other scriptures unto their own destruction. So it's going to be to your own destruction, man. Because you people don't want to hearken. Because you people want to be rebellious and proud. Because you want to continue to do the things that are beneficial to you, for you on this side. Not for the kingdom to come. And rehearse those righteous acts right now on this side. Alright? That's how I know through the spirit of Yahawashi Yahawashi, this place, America, is great Babylon. And Yahawashi Yahawashi is visiting this place. And because if you don't have this knowledge, it's going to be to your destruction, because His word is able to save your souls, man. Go ahead and go back to Amos. 5 and 17.
This is Amos chapter 5 verse 17. And in all vineyards shall be wailing, for I will pass through thee, saith Yahweh.
Yeah. What is a vineyard, man? A vineyard where they grow grapes, and that's where you're able to thrive. You know, you get your grapes, you crush them, you make your wine, you make your money. But it's likened unto this place here in Midland. Everybody's grinding, making big money, you know, while they're destroying the earth. But there's going to be welling within this place, man. All right, go ahead.
Woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh.
Yeah, woe unto you that desire the day of the Most High. Go ahead.
To what end is it for you?
To what end is it to you, man? Because the day of the Lord, he's coming as a man of war. All right? He says that he's going to scream and cry out like a travailing woman, man. A woman that's in pain. There's a scripture in the book of Apocrypha that talks about if you want to drive away an army, bring a scolding woman. A woman that's full of pain. That's what's going to drive away a woman, an army, man. That's Yahawashi, and that's what we're doing. We're coming out here preaching the word of Yahawashi, the true gospel, the good news. And the good news is compiled with death and destruction.
The day of Yahweh is darkness and not light.
Yep, the day of the Most High is darkness and not light, man. We ain't coming up with these things. That's in the Old Testament, so-called Old Testament, but also in the New Testament it tells you the same thing. You gotta have vision. You gotta visualize these things when you read the scriptures, man. Go ahead.
As if a man did flee from a lion.
All right.
And the bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him.
And a serpent bit him, meaning this is an example, an allegory, like type, an example, meaning like if somebody, read that first part again. Basically, they're gonna go from one situation of being faced with death and escaping it to being faced with death again and being done away with once and for all. They ain't gonna be able to escape death, basically. Read it again.
Like in the cartoons, whenever they're making like funny parts where he steps on a broom and it hits him in the face, turns around, and then he gets that shovel and it hits him in the face, and then he steps on that rake and then it hits him in the face. Read it again. As if a man did flee from a lion.
Right, so as a man that did flee from a lion. So when you're faced with the lion, what happens, man? You're gonna be hunted. And eventually you're gonna be attacked. Right? When you're faced with the lion. That lion represents death. Go ahead.
And the bear met him.
And then he encounters a bear. Because he went from one situation to another situation that represents death. That had to do with death. Because if you meet a bear, that bear is gonna more likely attack your ass. Right? Go ahead.
Or went into the house and leaned a hand on the wall, and the serpent bit him.
Right, so he went like, for example, you got your underground bunkers, these doomsday preppers. They think they're gonna escape the Third World War, martial law, the purge, whatever they want to call it. But within that basement, wherever they're going underground, there's gonna be death and destruction there still waiting for them, man. You know? And then what happens if you're bit by a snake? There's no escaping that death. That poison's gonna go through all in your body and you're done. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you can flee from a lion, a bear, you know, but if a serpent bites you, a snake, a rattlesnake, what happens? You're done, man. That poison's in your body, there's no getting it out. That's what it's gonna be like when Yahawashi comes back, man. He's not gonna meet you as a man as he was when he came riding on a donkey. He's coming back as a destructive force, man. But simultaneously, he's gonna be delivering, showing mercy unto his elect. That's the only one that he's gonna be being graceful to. Everybody else, he's gonna be as a horrible power, man. Go ahead.
Shall not the day of Yahweh be darkness and not light?
Yep. Shall the day of the Most High be darkness and not light? Because like everybody thinks that the Most High is gonna come back. His son, being this peaceful man, that he's gonna bring glory. The Most High, when he cracks them clouds, it's gonna be darkness, man. It ain't gonna be all bright. It's gonna be full of darkness. How do I know that? Read the book of Psalm. I believe it's chapter 18. The scriptures say that he's going to shake the heavens and the earth, man. But people have this vision in their mind that's supposed to just light up like a bright cloud. No, man. You know what surrounds the Most High? Darkness. He's that one, man. Black, it represents power, man. When you look at it, not in just a sense of negativity, but darkness, black, it represents power. It's like they show the villain in all the comic or those movies, whatever. They're powerful, you know. They've showed Apocalypse. They got that one dude, I forget his name, from the new Batman and Superman movie. Was it Justice League? Right? That's that representation of Yahawashi, man. All right. What is the name? Thanos.
Oh, and on the Marvel Universe con.
Yeah, and Justice League, and then you got what the other one I mentioned. Those are all representation. Apocalypse. Those are all representation of who the world called Jesus Christ. He's coming back to destroy, man, and make things right. Because the people, the one that rules the earth, Esau, which is the so-called white man, according to the biblical prophecy, he ain't governing the earth properly, man.
Right.
All right. So the return of Yahawashi, there's no light in it, man. Go ahead.
Even very dark and no brightness in it.
Even very dark and no brightness in it, man. That's how it's going to be. But to the elect, we're going to know it's our power. We're going to know it's Yahawashi. Why? Because we knew what the Spirit was conveying to us in this book, man. We know what to look for. Because the scriptures say in Matthew, if it were possible, the very elect would be deceived. Which is impossible. We will not be deceived. Because we're going to know. Go ahead and bring out Matthew 24, verse 29. All right? But to everybody else, it's going to be as an invader. When Esau tries to paint Yahawashi, getting you people ready to fight against these so-called aliens, right? These creatures that come in from the skies. People are actually fighting against Yahawashi. Y'all don't even know in your daily lives, man. Through your actions. The love of many has waxed cold, man. Now people forgot this word, man. But that's why we're sent out as men of the Lord to preach this word back unto you, man. All right? Go ahead.
This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 29. Immediately after tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the power of the heavens shall be shaken.
That's right, man. And that's going to be by way of those missiles and by the return of Yahawashi, man. There ain't going to be no brightness in this place, man. The return of Yahawashi is coming back as a force that's not to be reckoned with, man. Okay? It's like when a tornado comes, what happens? It turns dark. And guess what? The Most High controls those tornadoes, man. It tells you that. Go ahead.
And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven.
See that? Did you hear what it said? Read that again with power.
And then shall there appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven.
That's right. And then shall appear the Son of Man in heaven, man. Within what? Darkness. All right. He's coming back as a like I said, a force not to be reckoned with. A pissed off God, man. Like everybody's afraid with spirits like hauntings and poltergeists that occur in houses. Those ain't nothing. They have nothing compared to what Yahawashi is about to bring, man. You know? Go ahead.
And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn.
Then all the tribes of the earth shall mourn. What does that word tribe talk about? All the other nations, the Gentiles, the natural Gentiles, not the Gentiles, state of mind Israelites that picked up the customs and traditions of the other nations. It's talking about you other nations, like the so-called white man, the Japanese, the Chinese, the Arab, the Ishmael, which come from the tribe of Ishmael. All right? Y'all gonna mourn when you see the Son of the Most High. Yahawashi, man. Go ahead.
And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
With power and great glory, man. And engulfed in darkness, man. That's how the Most High, His Son, Yahawashi, who the world already called Jesus, coming back.
That's right.
To destroy and to deliver His elect, the chosen, the 144,000 and that 1/3, the Negro, Latino, and Native American Indians, man. And the confusion of faces. The salvation ain't for everybody, man. All right? It's not for everybody.
That's right.
And Yahawashi told you Himself, He came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Paul said it himself too. For the Gentile state of mind Israelites, man. All right? You got a question, man?
Nah, bro. I just heard you guys preaching the gospel of Yahawashi, man. I want to listen to it, bro.
So you know about Yahawashi? You heard about those names? You believe in those names?
Yes, sir.
That's good, man. Because what tribe you come from? Judah? All right. See, so like we come from the tribe of Issachar. You know what I'm saying? So we're out here doing the work for our Father, man. Yahawashi. Yahweh is His Father's name, and His Son Yahawashi. What did you hear? How did you hear about this truth?
Man, years ago, man. But I didn't even come into this side of it until say 6 months ago when I was back home in Los Angeles.
Okay. So did you hear brothers over there in Los Angeles, or you on the internet?
No, bro. I ran into a bunch of those cats. I see the California Hebrews, True Nation Hebrew Israelites, all those cats, man.
Yeah, we fall under the banner of GMS, Great Millstone.
Great what?
GMS, Great Millstone.
Never heard of that one, bro.
That's who we fall under the banner of, but through the spirit of power, Yahawashi. Right. We don't follow those other camps like IUIC, ISUPK, all those other camps. I heard all the ones that you mentioned. We don't follow under them because every camp has their own little doctrine. But the one thing that a lot of us can agree on is the sign right here that's prophesied in the book of Ezekiel.
Amen. That's why I had to take a picture of it, bro.
Right. But yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? That's what we're preaching, the return of our Yahawashi, man. But a lot of people out here, they don't know what's up, man. They're out here walking blind. They don't know. And Midland being one of the main places where they're destroying the earth, man. You know, with this oil field and everything that's going on. You know, and then these rich people, they don't know, man, that Yahawashi is about to bring them low, the proud.
Exactly.
So that's what we're speaking.
Exalt the humble and people humble the exalted.
Yeah, and then the ones that are exalted shall be brought low. You know, the ones that are abased that shall be lifted up on high, which is the elect. You know, the Negro, Latinos, and Native American Indians, man. So that's what we're doing. We're preaching the word, man. Prophesying.
Keep doing it, bro.
Yeah.
They need it out here, man, because these brothers. So I was just talking to some cats a long time ago. I said, man, if I bring some of my brothers out here from all these different camps or whatever like that, they'll scare the hell out of Midland, Texas. So to see you guys out here doing it, I was like, oh man, hold up, man, I gotta stop and listen to it, man.
Yeah, it's through the spirit of power, Yahawashi, so we give all praises to, man. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter how many brothers, could be one brother that would destroy a whole city, you know what I'm saying? This word, the knowledge, it will destroy these people, man. But this word can either break you or make you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And the whole purpose of this word being brought out is to gather the elect and to tell them they have to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay? Right. You know what I'm saying? That's talking about not getting no edge ups, not eating pork, not committing adultery, you know, not stealing. You know, it goes deep, man. You know what I'm saying? So that we have to go back into rehearsing the righteous acts in the land of drawing water, which is here in America. Because we're brought over to serve slavery, but within this captivity, we're going to be brought to the remembrance of who we are as a people and the names of the Father and the Son. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So, go ahead and read that again.
And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn.
That's talking about the other nations. Go ahead.
And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, and from one end of the heaven to the other.
That's right. That's talking about who's the elect. Go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 34. Isaiah chapter 45. Isaiah 45 and 4. we're going to find out who the elect is. Because not everybody can be grafted into this promise, the covenants that were made unto Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's that old plantation Christianity doctrine that's brainwashed you Negro Latinos and Native American Indians thinking that everybody can be accepted. That's not true. That's not biblical. You are not knowing the scriptures, man. Nor the power of Yahawashi, which is the word. Isaiah 45:4. We're going to find out who the elect are.
It's Isaiah 45 verse 4. For Jacob, my servant's sake, and Israel, mine elect.
That's right, there it was. And Israel, mine elect. Jacob's name was changed to Israel, which in Hebrew is Yasha'ala, which means he is a prince of power now. That's who his servant is. That's who he chose to be his peculiar people unto himself. Alright? That's what Matthew chapter 24 we just read. The elect are going to be the ones that are going to be drawn out of this place when that simultaneous and epistles hit and destruction is occurring. That's who's going to be delivered. The elect.
I have called thee by thy name.
He had called him by his name.
I have surnamed thee, whom thou hast not known.
Jump to verse 17. Start at verse 17.
But Israel shall be saved in Yahweh with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end.
Which cuts John 3:16. Because that word world is the cosmos, which you got the world of the so-called white people, you got the world of the so-called Negro, Mexican, Chinese, right? But when you come to the book, the Bible, this book is always speaking about towards who the promises. Israel, world without end. Their world is never going to end. Israel's never going to cease from existing. It tells you that in Jeremiah. He even challenges the other nations. If you could measure the heavens and the depths of the earth and the sea, or if the moon ceases or the sun, Israel will cease. They haven't done it. Esau hasn't done it. Though he claims he knows the measurement of the earth, he don't got it. He don't know how deep the things go, the earth goes. Else Israel would cease. We're still here. We're waking up everywhere. You got the brother and the two brothers in Peru woke up in the name of Yahawashi. The brother in Bolivia. You got the brothers in Mexico, right? In South America, waking up. In Jamaica, the Bahamas, waking up. Canada, Alaska, Hawaii, Holland, London, Australia, under GMS, Great Millstone. We ain't like Nathaniel 7, IUIC having to travel to Africa to wake up people. It's through the spirit, man. Via the way, the internet. The words of Yahawashi. That's the power, man. Oh, you got one? Okay, go ahead.
Romans chapter 9 verse 1. I say